All right. Good morning, everyone. June 23rd, Tradingology.com's trading room. We will open the doors up a minute early. This time we'll beat 9 o'clock. Get the ball rolling. And see what we see for today. Good morning, Dave.
Hey, good morning.
Got my speakers up. I am muted for a second. There's always one thing I missed. There we go. How we doing, Dave?
I'm doing great. How are you?
There he is. We're all right. We survived another weekend.
Yes. And it was a hot one. Oh man, humidity was crazy.
I took some time off and went up to a friend's lake and enjoyed some lakeside camping this weekend. So it was a nice long Father's Day weekend.
Nice, nice.
And happy belated Father's Day to you.
Yeah, you too. It was a quiet day, but nice. Just did a little cookout. Kind of relaxed.
Very
Good morning,
nice.
Andre. Lots of news to talk about.
Yeah, the last thing I see before I hit the rack last night was this one. I thought that was, I'm like, very generous, and I could just hear him saying it.
Right. I'm not sure if he's serious, I wonder what generous means to him.
We need the definition, right?
Yeah, what is very generous? Because to me, I think my generous would be a little bit different than him. But he's like a billionaire. Hopefully,
Right.
his generous is very generous.
Yeah, I just caught that one late. I'm like, oh, here we go. And look at where we bounce up on the open. Look at this gap up.
Yeah, look at the RTY. It's just kind of getting killed at this point.
Yeah, they're all coming back down right now because it's breaking down from the volume and the orders coming in.
Yeah, and the levels there, it's interesting that we're hitting all the levels kind of like right away, except for the NQ. The NQ has just remained super strong. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, we have a good, strong tendency that we might see a bounce here. Definitely hitting this level. So I can see definitely a little retracement, a little fighting here, because this is another level that one of our members has identified as a sweet spot for today between this area. So I won't be surprised at all to see it come back up and bounce off of here.
Yep, absolutely. So you also probably heard then what Navarro said last night and why the futures were down 350 points overnight.
I did not catch that one.
Oh, you didn't catch it? Yeah. So like around, I think it was around 9 p.m. or so, 9 or 10. Navarro did an interview and he came out and he said the China deal is off. It's over, he said. And futures immediately dropped 350 points.
I saw that overnight because I was looking, and they just came right back like nothing happened.
Well, what happened was as soon as Navarro came out and said that, Trump tweeted, "Oh no, the trade talks are very much intact."
Nope, just kidding.
Just kidding. And then Navarro even came. Yeah, look at that. It just dropped like a rock. And then Navarro came back and he said, "Oh no, I was misinterpreted," but somebody captured it on video, and that's been making the round. So he really did say trade talks are over.
Wow. They figured we were at 26,000 just above, and it went down 500 points. Almost. Yeah. 450 or so.
I saw it down 350 at the lowest, but I wasn't watching it every second. So
yeah, I saw that. Just looking, I wasn't actively watching the markets. I saw this bam, then it came right back. I'm like, is this just a plan to be like, all right, let's short some, make some money. Okay, that's enough. Go back up.
Yep, and look at the line it hit there.
Exactly. Funny how that works.
Perfect. Yeah, it was kind of a strange event, and now of course the trade talks. Well, of course Trump says, yeah. It's no, everything's good. It's all on track, and the markets were up about 250 pre-market. We're still up 116 on the YM.
Yeah, there's the look on the ES.
The only cost. Yeah, look at that.
Green line.
Yep. Looks like they were almost targeting it. It's like, oh, that's it. That's where we want to go. Everybody in the White House scooped up their shares and scooped up the futures, and
everyone made 5 digits and they're off to the races.
Yeah, there's no price discovery in the markets anymore, guys. The government is basically controlling the markets, whatever they want to do.
And we opened up really strong, and now it's coming off 500 below that 2,000 line again.
Does it mean the market is actually skeptical that the president is saying they're intact? Is the market participants finally starting to wake up to the fact that he's just manipulating them?
Potentially. Anything is possible, right? Maybe they have come onto the game.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. We may get a bounce shot. I think, like last week, we talked about maybe just kind of being in the sideways market. That could be we're kind of at the top end of that sideways market right now. If we are in a range, we're at the top end, and we may end up going back down to the bottom and then just kind of bouncing back and forth. We'll see.
NDX made another new high this morning, 10,213.
Wow.
So we're 3.5 to 1.
What is the diamonds?
2.5 to 1.
QQQs?
What was that?
The diamonds and the QQQs. So if we look at,
let me grab that one.
internals are up around that 0.75% level, so it's pretty high.
Yeah, we're right at that turning point here on the one level for the ES, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Where did my chart go with my indexes? Or not indexes, my ETFs.
They got to be really, really close right now.
There they are. I clicked it. Where's it active? There it is, right above me. 261 and 248.
Boy, they're close. Look at that. They are so close.
They're up in between the second and third, where the other ones are fighting in between here. Interesting. Here's where they're giving away their previous buys with that late reporting.
Yeah.
Yeah, 0.5%, 0.6, almost 1%, like you say. The Russell's still leading, and very well could be the one that leads to the downside too.
Yeah, they're very sensitive. They're more volatile even than the NASDAQ. They tend to be very news sensitive because they're smaller caps, lighter volume.
Yeah, real close to 250, 250. Maybe they're going to meet at 255. I could see it. They could do that today.
They could. Yep, there goes the bounce right off the levels.
Yep.
Boom.
The genius in the room called it for us. So there's 5-10 points coming right there. 31.20 to 31.30 almost.
Wow. That's a pretty good move. In other news, I don't know if you heard this or not, but PayPal is looking to get into the cryptocurrency game.
Ooh, interesting.
PayPal and Venmo have decided that they're going to allow cryptocurrency purchases, and not only that, but you can buy them directly on the PayPal platform. And you can use your PayPal and Venmo money to buy cryptocurrencies.
Interesting.
That would open up adoption like crazy.
Yeah, both sides. There's small businesses that use that, and obviously in just people for person-to-person transfers.
Yep.
Nice. And I did see, I was catching your podcast while I was in transit between the lake and here, so I kept up on the whole Pay ID thing going on, and that announcement. That's a big one too. Is that what they're called? A Pay ID, right? Yeah.
Pay ID, and which is interesting because Ripple developed the Pay ID system. And from the very beginning, when I started following Ripple, I've always heard them say that they wanted to make money transfer between people as easy as sending an email. And so now with Pay ID, what you can do is you can create a Pay ID that has looks just like an email address, except for it has your name, a $sign instead of the @ sign, and then a domain at the end of it. And that is basically, you can send it to anybody with cryptocurrency attached to it, and that person would receive it if they have a Pay ID as well.
Nice.
Now, if you remember the early days of PayPal, that's how they transacted. If you had a PayPal email address, you could send money to anybody if you just had that PayPal email address. And not only that, if the person didn't have a PayPal email address, and you sent it to an email address that they didn't have, or it wasn't signed up with PayPal, all the person had to do, they received a email saying, "Hey, you've got money. All you have to do is register with PayPal." And so they clicked and they signed up and claimed the money.
Yeah, why wouldn't I click on that if there's money in there waiting for me?
Sure, yeah, exactly. That was kind of a marketing technique back in the day. People were sending 1 cent to people. And all PayPal would say is, "Hey, you got money waiting." They're like, "What?"
It's like the early adoption of Gmail. You had to be invited. Can I have a Gmail address? You
That's right.
Sign up. You have to be invited.
That's right. Yeah. And not only that, but PayPal used to pay you $5 for every person that you sent a link to join PayPal.
Wow, their original referral program.
Their original referral program paid $5 per sign up.
Wow, interesting. I did not know that.
Yep. Oh, you have to go way back.
How
I think it was like 1996, 97. They stopped it after they got about
many million?
it was, they got quite a few users, so that helped.
They probably got 10 million out of it or something.
Yeah. Gary says, a crazy story. We talked a while ago about how salaries will start to decrease. Yes, we did. Well, my daughter's friend's mom was furloughed, so she started looking at job postings and found her job at her employer was listed for a lower salary than what they were paying her. That's surprising.
Well, she's on furlough too on top of it, so usually furlough means you're coming back, right? Now they're listing your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little salt in the wound there.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, see, the only way they can actually, so they furloughed all these people. They're going to hire them back at a lower salary if they hire them back at all.
Right.
And then, yeah, you're going to be in rough shape. So you're going to have lower wages across the board.
But don't worry, we'll just pay her to stay home. We'll get that, universal basic income. We'll just print some more money for her, Gary. Never fear.
Did you watch George Gammon this morning?
I did catch it last night. That was the last thing I saw. Then I saw Trump's note. I'm like, here we go.
Yeah. So good old George talked about the Fed dollar, the digital Fed dollar.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Fed coin, the Freedom app. I love it.
Yeah, the Freedom app, yeah. And basically, so if they do come out with a central bank digital currency in the US dollar project, I wonder if they're going to create a limited supply. Do you think they're going to do a limited supply? And make it not inflationary?
They don't know. That's the only thing they know. How do they not make it?
Right. That's exactly right. You are so correct, my friend. All they know is inflation. They will create as many Fed coins as they want.
Yeah, they don't like this limited supply because that's logic.
Yeah, the value of other people's holdings will go up more than theirs.
Right. I like his speculation on the time clock too. Can you imagine that? Here's $5,000, in these coins, or $5 and 5,000 coins, but you got 1 day to spend it.
Yeah.
After that, it expires.
Right. What would that do to prices? Holy crap. If I mean, as a merchant or a store, I'm talking about, I mean, just about everything. If you knew people had 5,000 to spend a day and they had to spend it that day, they'd be out buying stuff all the time. And guess what you're going to do? You are going to raise prices.
Oh yeah. If you know it's, they're lining their pockets with it, they're not working for it, they're just getting it. Why wouldn't they? They don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, that loaf of bread that's $2 right now, tomorrow it's going to be $10.
Yep.
I mean, they're just going to raise prices. That's hyperinflation scenario if I ever heard one.
Obviously, that's the super extended side of it, but yeah, I could definitely see it. Yeah, this is valid for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days when they start out. Obviously, the 1 day thing is a little drastic and very radical, but just that in general, you put that out to the masses, it'll be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's got to raise prices across the board on everything. So right down to from the store all the way down to the supplier and the miller and everybody else, they're all going to want their cut.
And that's how they get rid of the national debt. They just inflate it away. Because suddenly we have numbers everywhere and we just pay them off with these new Fed coins. Thank you.
You never have. That's one thing you never have to worry about is the U.S. government being insolvent.
Yeah, because when haven't they been?
Yeah, they've been. Yeah, exactly. For the last 80 years, they've collected less taxes than they've spent. So
the longest running business that's not made money forever. Or if you want to compare it to a business.
Well, I mean, it used to be. When was the last year that we had a balanced budget? Oh, you know what? A balanced budget. Did you know in the 1970s there was an act passed called the Balanced Budget Act? I think it was the last time. I think somebody's got to take that out and dust it off a little bit.
Right.
I don't think it's been repealed. Yeah. It's never been repealed.
I can see this guy bringing that out. Hey, guess what? Remember this day?
Yeah. Yeah, it was in the 60s or 70s, one of those years. I think that, in fact, the year they passed that, I think it was the last year that it was actually balanced. It's funny. That is pretty funny.
Crazy. Beautiful little move there. Yep. I think there's a few people that capitalized on that one. So if you're not in the group yet, and I think everybody here is, definitely check it out so we can help you make your own hard-earned income versus just giving it handed to you.
Cryptocurrencies got a bid yesterday. They were up nicely. I did a chart of the total coin market cap minus Bitcoin, and it had broken out through a in fact, let me take a picture of this. So I'll put it in the Slack for you to grab. It's a diamond pattern that is kind of like at the bottom of the market, and so it's a reversal. It's a bullish pattern when it happens at the bottom of the market, and it's a bearish pattern when it happens at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I had anticipated that that breakout was gonna happen in July, so it's a little bit early. So we'll have to kind of see. But it did break out. It closed above it on a daily basis. That is very bullish for cryptocurrencies. Now, the one I put it in the updates by mistake, but you can go ahead and grab it there.
No problem. I just got a note. Our 16-year-old just passed his driver's test with a 94%.
Oh, nice.
Literally just now. I just got it. So he was taking his test right now.
I don't know if I should convey congratulations or sympathy.
Don't tell my insurance person yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I always try to keep it away from my insurance company for as long as I possibly can. Yeah, your rates will go through the roof.
Exactly. This is the last time, at least. There's no more kids lined up after this one. All right, here we go. So what time frame are we looking at here? October to August?
Yeah.
So this is about a year. Okay.
Yeah, this is that. Yeah, I could go to a weekly and show you the big picture here. You can go to a monthly. Here, let me give you this big blow up one here.
Okay.
So we're basically kind of looking in context of a much larger, like I said, I hadn't called it a bear market. I called it basically a retracement in a bull market.
A correction.
A correction, yeah. So here's what the correction looks like on the weekly chart, which is a much larger pattern. You can see that we're down at the bottom of that, and we formed this diamond pattern here. And so we're at the bottom, not at the top of any type of market, and we just broke through, which you can see. If we stay above that level on the weekly chart, boy, I think we're off to the races. So next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we'll check that out. Make sure that we're on above that diamond pattern there.
And that is kind of correlating with a few other places that I watched, and they're talking about just about everything's getting ready to break out of wedges, because there's so many things that are in a wedge across the entire market right now, which is kind of what you could call this if it wasn't just a diamond. Just this half of this could form a wedge, and it's also getting ready to break out to the top side.
Yeah. Elliott wave patterns identified that March low, the March 12th low in cryptocurrencies, as a fifth wave capitulation in the correction, and now they're looking for a 5-way advance.
Okay, interesting.
Yep.
We'll just keep that one right over there.
But the only thing that scares me about everything is that cryptocurrency has been going lockstep with stocks for the past couple weeks. Lockstep. I mean,
and they've been happier to the upside, right? Where they'll go up with them, but they're not always dropping with them. Isn't that what?
No, they're dropping more than the stock market will drop, except for last night. So when the stock market dropped down 350 points, it didn't really affect crypto that much. It stayed pretty steady, which was encouraging. We also have, nicely enough, I have been putting quite a bit of my new money into the commodity ETFs, PDBC, GSG, and DBA, those three. And they've been doing nicely. They've been starting to, looks like they're forming a bottom here. And so I'm putting them into the M1. In fact, I can give you a link to the
check out the pie.
Portfolio pie. Yep, and I've got it. I'm doing something interesting here is I'm putting just a few percent of the allocation. Right now, it's currently at 10% because I did that in this morning's funding. But I'm going to switch it back to 5% into VXX.
Interesting. Gotcha.
So so what I'm doing here is that let's say we get I put 5% of the portfolio in VXX. When we get a spike in volatility, I'll cash out, take those profits, put them back into DBA. So it's a little bit of a hedge. Let's see, here we go.
All right, I gotta do one thing at the same time here. We're multitasking at our best right now.
Mm-hmm.
Bum, 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 bum.
Get out of that trade.
Oh, not that one. Not a trade. Someone needs a social security number for passing their test, so I'm getting that for him. He doesn't have his social memorized yet.
Oh, gotcha.
So they must have to write it down on something.
Yeah.
So I'm just pulling up. So if it looks like the video froze, that's just me that I froze the screen for a second, so I didn't pull up any social security info on the screen here.
No worry. I might as well give you guys a PSA while you're doing that.
Perfect timing.
Coinbase Pro added a new coin called Compound. And if you look on Coin Market Cap, there are two Compound. They actually have the exact same symbol, COMP. However, they are completely different coins. The one that Coin Market Cap put on their pro site for most users is selling for about $313. The other one, which looks like, and if you look at their website, it's absolutely horrible. It looks like a fifth grader put it together. is selling for about 1/100th of a cent. So don't confuse those two, even though the symbols are identical. I did a little digging on this Compound coin that Coinbase is adding, and it is pretty freaking interesting. And it almost reminds me of a central bank, the way it's the Austrian school would handle interest rates if it was in charge. So that's the official website for this new Compound coin. So don't get confused with the other crap one that is out there with the same symbol.
Funny how they like to play on words or symbols. And the other thing that I learned, not to take you completely off topic, is how Nikolai came into existence and how they actually did that, because it wasn't an IPO, right? And how they used another ticker.
Oh, really?
That was amazing. George covered it in one of his videos, I think it was. Or was it? It was either George or it was Mike. I forget it. I think it was George. There's somebody on with them. But what they did is they did this, or I'll find it and I'll get it to you. But basically what they did is, because you never heard of an IPO on Nikolai, right? Like Tesla did, or other normal ways. Right. They backed into it with something called, what was the acronym? They basically do a reverse merger with an existing company that's already on the listing. So there is no announcement for a new company because the company already exists.
So they took a shell public company, did a reverse merger, and then all of a sudden they're public.
Yep, exactly.
That's beautiful.
There's actually a program they call for, like, that's not the first time this has ever happened. It's standard practice, and it's the way that they get these companies listed and not have to like go through all the red tape. Wow. Morning, Isham.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll have to get that and send it over to you. I think it was one of George's guests that talked about it, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a guy that he's covered Tesla for years and years and years, so he knows everything about them. So they were comparing them and what Nikolai did.
Gotcha.
So this guy knows everything. Apparently he's famous for being a Tesla FinTwit guy. I forget his name. You probably know him.
Morning, Isham. Yeah, very, very interesting. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. Yeah, I knew there was something. I said, geez, it's like, how can these guys go public with no revenues, not even a working product? I was wondering how that happened. Now you just solved that puzzle.
There you go. Learn something new every day.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you saw Brad Kimes come out with a video that said that Ripple could do an IPO, but they have what they call a confidential IPO.
Yeah.
Have you heard that before?
I have not.
So they, when a company comes out and they want to do an IPO, they have to file an S-1 with the Securities and Exchange Commission, kind of explaining what their business model is and answer a bunch of questions for the SEC. That becomes a public document as soon as they file it when the SEC approves it. Oh, well, you can file what they call a confidential S1 or a confidential IPO, which means that that document will not become public right away. In 2017, any company under $1 billion in valuation could use that. And the reason for them using that is they don't want to give away any trade secrets that they might have to their competitors. But in 2018, I think it was, they repealed that and they said any company of any size can use that confidential IPO process. So now, if Ripple wants to, if they have a trade secret they don't want their competitors to know about before they go public, they can keep that S1 filing confidential until just like a few days before they actually go public.
Interesting.
Yes.
Just like rewriting the rules all the time, right?
Evidently. You can do whatever you want. All you have to do is rewrite them.
We joke, but it's amazing how that actually happens.
Yeah. Just like the Federal Reserve can hold all these assets when they're legally not able to do that. Well, we're not legally holding them. We're going to set up an SPV, this little vehicle over here, a little LLC. LLCs are cheap, you know, it costs $1,000 to set up, and
everybody else is doing it. Why not the government?
Everybody else is doing it.
This will be a fun level here. NDX and the NQ are at all-time highs. Let's see how it respects that. Everybody should be out of their trade that took this nice one. That's a nice little move there. 25, we'll call it modesty. That's a nice 10 point, 20 points. 15 at the max.
There we go. Hit 10, 22, 20. 222, 10, 222. Perfect.
And my bet is it's not going to break above that. It'll probably have to fight through it.
Yeah.
Or it's going to bounce right down off of it.
Little back and forth there.
Interesting infighting here. So we got the RTY going down, and this is holding it up right now. Yep. This is odd. It's not very often that they move separately like that, where these guys are rallying and this guy is falling.
Yeah, very, very different.
All right. Asham, since you're late, you have to have a question for us. He's probably busy making money on that bounce. Is probably what Asham was doing.
Oh, a few weeks ago, I mentioned Link, a cryptocurrency with the LINK symbol.
Yep.
It is up.
Very nicely.
20% since I mentioned it.
Nice.
It's up, and today most cryptocurrencies are flat, but it's up almost 8%. So doing very, very well. Yeah, Sean, we're all waiting for your questions, sir.
And it can't be the one on the buy-sell signal.
Yeah, don't ask me about the buy-sell signal. You can ask me anything else. Don't ask me about that.
All right. Oh, I've got one last piece of my new announcement to put together until I can share it with you. Dave might have an inkling what it's going to be, but there's one more cog in the wheel that I got to fix, and you guys that are part of us that have enjoyed it are going to have in for a little treat. Maybe I'll have it, that last cog in the wheel, by Thursday, and I can tell you then. I'll keep you. So if you missed the live, catch the recording on Thursday. I'll just say that. I think you'll enjoy it.
Keeping us in mystery here.
I don't want to tell you too soon, and then stuff doesn't work the way it's supposed to until that last cog's in. It's like I'm waiting for the last lug nut so that you can drive the car and the wheel doesn't fall off.
Well, that's very important. We don't want wheels falling off here.
It's not even a system. This one I can guarantee you, when you leverage it, it will be lucrative every single time.
Sweet. Well, I am all ears. I am waiting. Now I won't be able to sleep tonight.
That means you're doing it right. Not even a sneak preview. This one, there's I couldn't let the cat out of the bag without giving it all away. You'll find out soon. As long as I get that last lug nut, we'll just call them lug nuts. I'm getting that last tire put on.
Thursday?
I'm shooting for Thursday.
All right. I'm going to hold you to it. Better get those lug nuts going.
I know, right? Get the air gun fired up.
Get the air gun. Tighten those things down. Not too tight, though. Not too tight. Just
True.
Just right.
All right, where are we at? I have a bolt for you with the lug nut. There you go. Sham's providing the parts. I like it.
I was watching this video I think it was this morning. Yeah, I'm still getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. This morning was 4:55. And I go onto Twitter and I see this guy with a video of a Tesla and water is coming down through his vents. And it's raining outside and the water is just flowing through his vents. And he says, I really shouldn't be upset the fact that Tesla has a built-in shower. However, I don't think this is supposed to happen. And it's just pouring in his car.
And it's like actually coming from the car?
Yeah, it's coming from inside the car. You know where the lights are, the overhead lights near the front dashboard or the front window?
Yep.
Yeah, well, there's like vents there, and they're just pouring through the vents there.
Oops.
Yeah, oops. Dave, I do have a question for you. Of course, Ishan. We know you have a question. It would not be the same without you, my friend. You mentioned Fibs on time. Oh, yeah, that's right. Found it interesting. Okay. How are you plotting it to make time decisions, Fibs, based on time? That's a great question because I forgot to mention it. I said I was going to do that.
I totally forgot about that too because of the long weekend.
That's right. So let me see if I can pull this up.
Now you got to see if you can fit it in.
Yeah. So what you might want to do here is hand the screen over. Yeah.
You let me know when you're ready, and I'll stop sharing.
I'm good.
Okay. It is all yours coming your way.
Host disabled attendee screen sharing. Oh, I guess you gotta.
Oh, do I have to let you share now?
Yeah.
Oh, they keep changing things. Here, I'll just make you a co-host. Then you should be able to share.
Yep. Okay. So this is the chart here that we just looked at with the diamond pattern. And so what I'll do is, this is on Trading View. And what I'll do is I'll go over into the Fibonacci tools here. And they have one, it's very simple. It says Fib time zones or trend based on Fib time. I forgot which one I used. Which one did I use? Time zone. I'm not sure that's a trend based on Fib time. Let me try this one and see what happens. So what I do is I look at the most recent high and low and I'll put it right over there and then I'll bring it down to the low. Now that's not the one I used before, but it looks about the same. And so what it'll do is it'll drag and drop this across and you can look at different, so you got the high and the low, most recent high and low, and then it drags out time. So for example, here's August 24th, here's June 29th, and now we're on a weekly chart, so it's the end of this week. But that looks like either a bottom or something. So something's going to happen during those time frames, but that's not the one I used before. Let me remove that, I'll go to the other one. It must be trend based. Which one though? I wish I could remember which one I used. So you just take the high and low. Now this is on a weekly chart. I think I did it before on a daily, but we'll just keep it on the weekly. Not the same one.
Try the one right above it.
Oops.
Try Fib time
Right.
zone. What does Fib time zone do?
Oh, the time zone. Maybe that's the one I used. All right, so I'm going to go from the high to, yeah, this is the one. Okay, and what I did was instead of using the built-in Fibonacci's, I used the quadrant system. So I've got 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, 2, 2.25, etc. going out. And so I'm looking for a low. That's why I said that I was looking for a July low in cryptocurrencies last time because of this. So if we go to 1.25, it looks like that was kind of like the beginning of the current market going higher. Looking possibly for a retracement at the 1.5 time frame. Maybe we scoot up here and then we retrace here at the July 20th level before we really take off. So that's how I'm using. I'm not using the Fibonacci retracements on the time fibs based on the Fibonacci's, but I'm using them based on the quadrant system. And I wonder how they match up. Can I put two on at the same time? I don't have the paid version, so I might not be able to do that.
It looks like TOS also does have a Fib. What do they call it? They call it Fibonacci time extensions as well. So it looks like you guys can play around with this in TOS too, just on a quick glance here.
Oh, that's the same way. So let me see if I can go back here and use it.
Yeah, I was thinking, what if we overlaid traditional fibs with time fibs? Does that unlock any secrets?
Yeah, that's a good point too. So let me see if I can do a. Let's see, which one was I using here? The fib times.
That's the one you just did with the,
right.
blue and the amber.
The trend based.
That was the first one. Yep.
Okay, so let's see. We'll do that with the low. And scrolling. Interesting. Well, we're still on a weekly. And so we got, here's the bottom on the 382. And then the 1.5 and the 1.6 and the 6.18 is on August 17th. They're about a month apart. Yeah, that's interesting. So it kind of gives you, let me go to a daily. I'll have to do them all over again. Never mind. But anyway, that's the idea. So I'm using the quadrant system, and then maybe you can overlay that. And let's see if we can overlay the regular ones. Now I have those on quadrants too, though. But we'll see. So, oh boy, well, let's see. If we pull up and we come back down, it's right near that. Actually, because this is a weekly, I don't use the
wicks.
I don't use the wicks. Yeah. So I only want to use the wide range bars on that. Oh, that would be nice. Pull up, come back down, right about here, which would be just above that 50% level. So maybe it'll pull up and then come back to the 75. So someplace in there. But I think they're interesting. I like the time. I like to look at the time because I'm always thinking, well, you know, if we do go into a bull market, when can I expect that to happen? Now this little Fibonacci time hit the bottom of this. Now we're going up. I would anticipate if this was a low, we're going to continue to go higher until we hit this fib level on this time frame. Hit this bottom pretty good. That was the first 1.25 quadrant on the time. and it came back down, and we hit it. It hit a low. Actually, I don't know if you can see that or not, but we got a little low in here, and then it took off.
Interesting.
So I think there's something to play around with there. Back to you, my friend.
Right on. Find my camera's right in my way.
Yeah, I would overlay it, Asham, and put it onto some future stuff. I think it's interesting. I like it. I bet a lot of traders don't use it.
I've never even heard of it before. There's too many.
I remember using it on TOS a long time ago, but I haven't looked at it in years.
Yeah, do some playing around. See if you see anything that looks like magic sauce of shaman. We'll do the same, and obviously share what we find.
Absolutely.
And we're dropping in a hurry on the issues. Still going down. Volume's kind of just steady on. But definitely the issues are coming down. We saw there was a little fake out move there that just happened as you were finishing up that little talk where it was rallying way up. Then it just dropped like a rock.
Interesting.
We saw some interesting manipulation there before they dropped it down another 10 points.
YM and RTY have dropped below some of those support levels. Huh?
Yeah, once they break through those, look out below. The floor is falling out.
And the NASDAQ is butting its head up against that pivot.
Yep, it can't close above. It broke above, but it couldn't close above. That's important.
Yep. Yep, and there it goes. Boom. I just clicked my mouse to try to adjust your screen.
Don't you love doing that?
One of your GOS windows. Yeah. It's like, oh, that I can adjust them.
Which one do you want to see different?
Okay.
I can move for you.
I was just moving the NQ up and down a little bit.
Gotcha. Yeah, a little bit of fighting to get through there once he catches up.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Did any news hit here? No, I don't think so. Nothing on CNBC anyway.
Well, they have to find which article to put out. They have like 2 minutes. If there's a drop, someone has to create an article to say why.
Yeah, they got to justify it somehow. You're welcome, Asham. I'm glad I tickled your funny bone today.
It's not just education, it's entertainment, folks.
That's right. We would not be a pair unless we had some comedy involved.
Right. I hear him just go quit your day job.
Now Gary is typically a little more verbose today, but he's not. He had one big post here in the chat, and then we didn't hear from him. Andre usually has a question too. Wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah, he's been quiet today. Whoa.
Andre, what's going on, my friend?
Jeez.
Look at that. Look at that. Somebody didn't like something.
Yeah, look at those issues coming down. Those are big bars for issues.
They are. You know, it tends to work out better when there's no news because it means, hey, people are actually selling.
Well, maybe they're giving this person a second shot. They said, hey, I missed it. Bring it down there again and watch this. I wouldn't be surprised on that, but that's quite a move for that to happen. We'll see if that reverses or not.
Looks like Fauci is going to, there's a coronavirus hearing today. Fauci is going to give his testimony.
Did you see?
I don't see any news though.
There's a ridiculous thing I saw that you probably saw it. It was a Twitter post. Take any 3 digits and put it into like Google and type new cases.
Yes, I saw that.
That's ridiculous.
I put in 410 and it came out, 410 in Colorado, new cases.
Yeah, I did like 20 of them last night with Jess. I'm like, pick a number. Any number. She's like, why? I mean, it doesn't matter. Just pick a number. We randomly went through and every single one. She's like 001. I'm like, that's not a 3-digit number.
Yeah.
He's trying to beat the system.
Yeah, it's a 1-digit number. That's funny though. Wow.
Yeah, I can't believe it. So go ahead and try that, guys. And it's a little scary at the same time.
It is. What the heck, right? What the heck?
I'm just going to leave that there and not get on a soapbox because I don't have time.
It is insane though.
It is very crazy. What I want to do next is I want to test other search engines. That I'm curious about. See if Bing's responding the same, or if we enable DuckDuckGo for privacy, if it returns the same responses, or Yahoo search. Different search engines is what I want to test out next to see if it's the same results.
Yeah. Is Bing still around?
It is.
So we can do Bing.
You can still buy ads on there if you want.
I used to buy ads on there. Long time ago. I think I spent $20 and I didn't. I got like. It said I had visitors, but nobody signed up. So it's like, forget it. I'm not doing that anymore. Let me try it. I am on Bing. What's the lucky numbers?
We'll go with 437.
437 new cases. How about this?
You got a winner?
Bahrain
Yes.
reports 437 new COVID-19 cases. Wow.
So for those that haven't tested it yet, you can basically put in any 3 numbers.
Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Ohio reports 437 new cases too. Bahrain in Ohio.
Crazy. Yeah, so you can put in any 3-digit number and it's going to return a story about the current health crisis in a city or a country or a place. There isn't like a number that doesn't return something. It's ridiculous.
That is really scary. It really is.
Yeah, so here you go. 410 for Nevada. Keep trying numbers. I couldn't find one that didn't work.
Unbelievable.
I did 666, 777. I'm like, 777. That's like slot machine. That's got to be a winner. Nope. That works too.
Yeah.
Every single one. Every combo. So either they're programming it or it's end of days. I don't know.
Well, you know what they do when an advertiser goes on Google, they can put in a, you probably know what they call it, but it's like a place marker. It's like a % sign, whatever keyword it is, % sign.
Right.
So typically it goes into an advertisement. You can't use it for news.
Right. Exactly.
So when you search for, that's why whenever I search for something, it doesn't matter what it is, eBay always has it. It's like I'm looking for I don't
News.
know. Yeah, whatever. And eBay has it. And the keyword that I typed in there is in the ad for eBay.
Mm-hmm.
Are they doing that for the cases so that if anybody comes up with anything, they're automatically spitting it out and saying, hey, yeah, this is what we got.
Right.
But they're not ads, they're news stories.
Right. And are they all, do I dare say it, are they all accurate and true? How do you know anymore in this day and age what to believe and what not to?
Yeah, you really don't. That's the scary part.
Because that was the first thing, excuse me, as Sean mentions, yeah, that's 24 hours. That's the first thing my wife said. Well, how old is that? I said, this one's 2 days old. This one's 7 hours old. They were all completely recent.
Yeah, that is so strange. It's like they're manipulating the news stories to feed this fear.
Right. Crazy times. That's all I can say.
It is.
And there you go. There was second crack. I look at it. Boom.
Yep. So they went to the other side. Boom. Took it
That's the first round. Here's a second swing for you. And if you're going to get greedy, then we're going to make you pay. But be careful. If you're in there for a second swing, grab profits when you're happy. That's all I can say. And trade cautiously.
All right, guys, we got a few minutes left. Any final questions? We will be happy to give you totally fake answers. Better than Google, huh? At least we'll give them. All right. How many cases do we need today? Just pick out a number, and I will regurgitate the news to you.
Yeah.
But I'm really pretty encouraged about what's going on with cryptocurrencies and commodities. I think the commodities are looking good. GSG is up 0.5%. DBA is up 0.25%. PDBC, the three ones that I'm invested in, is up 0.23%. They just look really, really good to me. Hey, BD, who is BD? What's your first name? Who's that?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Hmm.
Hey, when's the next Wealth Masterclass? Am I going to miss it this week? Do I have to, or is it next week? Do you have the next date? Oh, it's Brent. Hey, he's one of our newer members. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, very welcome.
He joined a few months ago.
Fantastic. Welcome, sir. You know what? That's a good question. When is the next Wealth Masterclass? I do have to check my schedule once in a while. It could be.
It just feels like it's about that time coming. Like I might be missing it.
I know it.
So we'll if it's tomorrow, we'll make sure your members know. But if it's next week, we'll let you know on Thursday.
Yeah, right. I'm glad to pay you. I'm glad to buy me a hamburger today. I'll pay you next Thursday.
There you go. Hamburglar.
Where is it?
We could only tell you the ETA on a confidential IPO. I think they might keep part of that confidential too.
Yeah, so actually if they file that S1 confidentially, then we're not going to know until it's like a few days ahead of time. So, you know, we shall see. Let me just clarify when the Wealth Masterclass meetup is going to be. Because I think it's tomorrow.
See, my spidey senses were tingling, like I felt it coming. Like I had to make sure I get it on my calendar so I didn't have another meeting booked. Because that calendar fills up in a hurry, that's for sure. Any questions that you have, Brent, in the last 2 minutes we got? Or any feedback? I know you said you liked a few things, but I take constructive criticism as well, or we're always looking to improve where we can.
And you are right. It is tomorrow at 1 p.m.
All right, there you go. Yeah, today was definitely a tougher day. I know a few people that were on the sidelines. I know you're brand new to the Slack channels, so do some learning in there. There was one of our members shares some of his insight in addition to what we teach here. That worked out like a charm because he had a nice level identified right here.
Beautiful.
So there you go. So yeah, any questions you got in there, let us know. It's a great group. I'm not there 100% of the time, but that's why we make it a community. And I don't even know what the number's up to now. Let me take a look real quick. We got over 50 members in the group that everything is shared in, so she's going strong.
Nice.
So yeah, guys. That Slack channel. Got any questions, let us know.
Yeah, that's a great channel. There's a lot of nice, very nice people, very helpful people in there, and take advantage of it. Yep, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Wealth Masterclass meetup. Zoom link is in the portal.
Awesome. I will make sure in my calendar. Appreciate it, Dave.
Yep, thank you. Great being with you guys again today. And remember, we're probably looking at a potential hyperinflation. Commodities for my long-term portfolio is doing well. Trading, MES Masterclass. Awesome stuff.
Absolutely, Dave. We'll catch you tomorrow in your room.
All right, guys. Take care. Have a great day.
Take it easy, guys.